should be live now. Just wait for it to come up. There we go. Yay, there we are. Okay, so welcome everybody to Love Speaks Love. I am Denise, your host, and my beautiful guest today is Kristin van der Zet. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here again.
I'm going to turn this around actually. Get myself upside down. Because when I look at you on the screen, it looks like I'm looking away. Well, thank you for joining us. Okay, so just while people are gathering, I'll share a little bit about Love Speaks Love, which is a, it's not sitting right now, it's funny. So Love Speaks Love is a platform for people to share of their experiences, and one of my intentions for this was to bring people together, but also to bring people into their heart space a little bit more, and just to bring our awareness to our hearts, and that little reminder that we are love, and here we are, love speaking love. So what we're going to do today, we're going to chat about the energies, but first of all, we're going to do a little process. And in that, and it's an intuitive, we haven't really planned this, we just know we're going to be guided as we go. But our intention for this is to connect us more fully to our bodies. There might be the opportunity to kind of scan our bodies a little bit and see what might be there to clear stuff. But the intention for this, as I say, is to connect more fully with our bodies and to be more present in our bodies and to kind of anchor in more to our bodies, which we have to do in order to let our higher self in and get to those places where we might have shut off. So anything you want to add to that, Kristin?
No, I agree with what you're saying. I think it's so easy to forget when we are talking about the energies and we're talking about the ascension and the big lines, and we forget a bit that we are human and that everything happens from the body. If you're going to even do an astral travel, you need to really be in the body. So it's about a physical life. We are in the body for a reason. So it's real important to fully come into the body. It's not about going away from the body or, transcending the physical body. We're actually changing inside the body. And so coming back and fully embodied, even though it can be very uncomfortable at times, it's also where the magic happens.
Beautiful. And I think such a lot of us have spent a lot of time not fully in our bodies. I know even when I used to go to the dentist, I would have to hold crystals afterwards to kind of bring me back in, because I know at those times of trauma or discomfort, we tend to kind of leave our bodies at least a little, if not fully. And I think a lot of us have learned to do that from quite an early age as well. So yeah, now's the time to jump back in.
Yes.
Okay, so we normally start Love Speaks Love with a little heart-to-heart connect. And we're feeling that what we're going to do with this is start with that, but then go straight into the process. And it's going to be a little bit back and forth. So I'll do some and Kristin will do some and so on. So, anything you want to say before we start?
I think we can just dive right in.
Beautiful. Okay, so as I say, welcome everybody to Love Speaks Love. And I invite us all to bring our awareness to our heart space in the center of our chest. And while we're there, you might want to place one or both hands on your heart. And I just invite us all to say to our beautiful hearts, I love you. I love you. I love you. And let us breathe love into our hearts. However that works for you, if you want to imagine that you're surrounded by a bubble of love, you might want to have some coloured light in there as well. And as you breathe in, just breathing that love and that light. I'm a bit of a fan of the old golden light, but whatever colour works. And breathing that love into every cell of your body. Deep into the DNA. And feeling your body start to relax as we begin this process. And extending. Before we go to Gaia, I'm just getting to bring our awareness to all of our hearts being connected together in the one unified field of love. And as I often do at this time, I'm getting a visual of lots of lights around Gaia, joining together with streams of energy joining all of the lights. So whether you're watching this live with us or on the replay or on YouTube, we are all in this now moment. So extending that heart awareness out now to the heart of Gaia. And as we bring our awareness to that connection between our heart and the heart of Gaia, I'm seeing us all being held within Gaia's heart. And at the same time, feeling the presence of Gaia around me, within me, and feeling her love and her gratitude for all that we are and all that we do. And always feeling that recognition of all of us. And that beautiful energy of pure love. Like the love of a mother for a child. And Gaia's loving energy is moving into every cell. You may feel this going into your heart and around your body from there. You might also feel it coming up your feet, into your spine and moving up your central column. Your central column of light. And extending that heart awareness out now to the heart of the sun. And the sun gives us light on so many levels. We receive so many different light codes from the sun. So much of our energy comes from the sun. And I often feel the sun's energy moving into my solar plexus. You might feel it differently. You might feel it going into your heart or both. And extending, actually before that, just giving gratitude for the sun and feeling the love from the sun. And just feel that moving around your body. And now extending that heart awareness out to the heart of Source Creator. And you may feel the energy from Source Creator moving into your crown and going down your spinal column. You may also feel it going into your heart. And feeling the love from Source moving into every cell of your body. And let us all just breathe together again. And if you're joining us partway through the process, if you want to just close your eyes and know that you've been with us all along. And I'll hand over to you now, Kristen. Thank you.
And then we just keep focusing on the breath and feeling the breath inside the body. Noticing how it feels when the breath is moving inside. Bringing the awareness to your heart and feeling the breath in your heart. And letting the breath moving through the solar plexus into the sacral and all the way into the root, expanding in the hips. Remembering that the breath comes underneath anything that you can feel in the body, whether it's tension, trauma. Your breath is safe. You're safe to be in your body. And keep breathing down the legs, through the soles of your feet, and letting your breath move into the earth. And if you want to, you can let the energy of the earth come in through the soles of your feet. And move into your body. Grounding you into the physical. The energy in the body is always moving. Also in silence. When in rest, there is movement. Breathing back into your heart. And feel how you can feel your own body. Allowing everything to be just as it is. Just being present. There's no need to change anything. And from this point, you can connect in with your higher self, your consciousness. Find a point above your head where you feel that you can open to invite a higher aspect of you to come in, while still breathing in the body. Then you can imagine or feel this stream of consciousness that is the one you are, moving in your crown, through your third eye, expanding together with your breath in your throat. And breathing in your throat. Beautiful. Then further into your heart. Into your solar plexus. Into your sacral chakra. Connecting your life force and your creativity to the higher aspect of who you are. And breathing into your root. Down the legs. And through your feet into the earth. In order to physically anchor what you already know and who you are.
And bringing our awareness back to our heart space, to our physical heart. And surrounding your physical heart is a web-like tissue that is fascia, your connective tissue. So breathing into this fascia tissue, the fascia connects every organ with every organ. Connects all of your muscles. It holds many, many nerve endings. And we can hold a lot of tension in our fascia. A lot of old memories. So just visualize that you're now breathing in golden light to your heart and to your fascia. And this golden light is like liquid plasma light. And it moves throughout your fascia system, flushing through, moving on up to the top of your head, down your head and neck and shoulders, down your arms, all the way to the tips of your fingers. And from your heart, it also goes to your lungs, down to all of your organs of digestion, feeding all of these organs with this liquid plasma light, to your kidneys, your bladder, to your reproductive organs, your sexual organs, and down your legs. Through all of the muscles, all the way down to your ankles and your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. And from your heart, this golden plasma light moves into your bloodstream, into your arteries, your veins, all the way to the tiny capillaries. Into every blood cell, the red cells, the white cells, the platelets. Into all of your glands. To all of your hormones. Into your eyes, your ears, your mouth and your throat. And giving special attention at this time to your teeth, your gums, your throat and your thyroid and parathyroid glands. Feels at the moment that there's a big throat energy center awakening at this time. And this liquid plasma light even goes into your hair, into every hair on your body, into your nails, into every organ, every cell. And into all of the fluids of your body, within and around all of the cells. And if there's any areas of discomfort that you're finding in your body, just breathe into them. Allow your breath to release. Breathe this golden plasma light into those areas. And passing back to you, Kristen.
Keeping breathing in the body. Then I want you to connect with an intention. For the time coming in your life. Something you wish to create. Bring into the physical. Knowing that you have the power of the creations in your life when you fully embody. And then I want you to bring this intention into your heart. Inside your body. And breathing that intention throughout all the bodily systems. Because you're now open and the energy is circulating. Maybe the intention has a color, a texture. Maybe it has a smell, a feeling. How does it feel to be in your body when this is created? Allow yourself to fully be in that feeling right now. Choosing to be in the body, in this now, creating the next now. Breathing into your solar plexus, expanding. And breathing into your sacral. Holding the intention, holding the feeling, and holding the vision. Breathing back into your heart. And letting the breath expand once again in your throat. Opening for the expression in this world of what you just created.
Kia laia no koe kia tono koe shtarata ta ana. Mikil kia kurm to ui kita patanta ta a. Kukuli kita tatanto kol kita barana kikil. Hana ka ana ko ui shtarata to onta ta a. Pikile kianto to da parata ka. Ili kiparana ko kuliki starana ko oya. Kuliki atana ko te parata kide parata ko don parleki ka don da. Kalaki hanna sto hianto don da. Mi hele kianto no ko hele kia. Kuliki parata ko ina to leba kita. Kiliki harana ko uya karata ko uist. Haliki de parana kita erona ko uya kata. Keliki hana at arana ko utui da. Nepara no kuya to porana pipeti te parate to parate ko to un. Halaba no parate ki te parate ko to pora te ko parate ko to a. Uli ki te ana ki te to.
Erkni urkni rat oler in ay unir am urkni rat aler o yer o te urkni aler unni ma ay ko ay urkni a ko ay il er ya unni chalo ay aka ay ma wa ko ay rotu ay rat ay ko ay rat o ay kruch rat ay ha ko unni a o inka ay urat ay ler inka I don't
And breathing deeply. Bringing our awareness back to our hearts. And beginning to move our bodies. Maybe rolling your shoulders, moving from side to side or front to back. You might want to just shake your hands, shake your body. And I'm just going to get a glass of water because I don't have one.
Needed.
If your eyes are closed, just opening them when you're ready.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'd love to hear some feedback on how that felt.
I had a lot of sensation, kind of in a newish place. It's interesting because I feel I've been working a lot the last 12 months or so, maybe 2 years, in the spaces between the energy centers. So we have the thymus between the throat and the heart, which is another center that's coming online. I feel there's another center coming online between the heart and solar plexus. And this feels like, because we've got this here where the skull, the occipital region where the skull meets the back of the neck, but this feels higher. This
around the atlas, yeah.
Yeah. And it was a real like pulsing there. And I hadn't really considered that there might be another center there that's coming online. That was towards the end.
Yeah, and I really felt a lot around here. It's a theme. It really is.
Yeah, there was, I think actually it was more around here. Like, I wonder if that was my glands that were, but definitely, there was definitely pulsing and stuff going on at the throat. I guess guess we carry on with the show now.
Let's. Oh.
In a slightly different world. Okay, so one of the things we wanted to talk about was the changes that we've been feeling in the body, but also the current energies. And I think maybe we start with the current energies. Actually, let me just read something about the energy lines that I learned a few days before equinox. So I've been tapping into the work of a man called Rory Duff, and he has written a lot on the ley lines. He's mapped out the different ley lines in the UK and various places in the world and graded them according to the frequency that they emit and the size of them. And he said that in 2017, the energy lines all doubled in size. And he said that this is to do with the equinox and the solstice. So 4 times per year, all the energy lines began to move in harmony, side to side movements, and they would stay in harmony a good few years ago for half or 3/4 of a day. And it was always the day before the solstice and the equinox, not the day of. And the equinox and the solstice is the first day of the new sun cycle. So the last day of the old sun cycle is the day before. And this is when all the lines come in harmony and they all had mutual flow. And when the double Tauruses came in. And from 2017, this harmony cycle went from 3/4 of a day to a day, then a day and a half, and then 3 days. And now it's 15 days long. And he says that by December 2024, they will be 96 days long, and 496 is like the whole year.
And that was 24.
Yeah. And that there will be one fundamental frequency for the earth. So have you been getting, I don't know where, I feel like I want to go to the 24 because I feel like that's relevant to you, but I just thought that was interesting about the lead up to the equinox and how we were both feeling yesterday. So
And today.
yeah, and today.
Yes. Yeah, I've actually been shown different energetic lines around the earth today. So it's interesting you bringing it up because I didn't know you were going to. It feels like there's, I'm just trying to look at it now as I'm talking. It feels like there's this subtle, well, maybe not so subtle, sort of vibration in the lines of energy. It feels like it's almost like a new adjustment for more to come up from the inner earth. So that being like wisdom held in the lands, codes from ancient times that are coming up and into the new grid. And also it feels like it's sort of in a physical sense, if we're imagining it. Now, of course, the pictures or the images we have on it is not exactly how it is because we need to make something for a human mind to understand, but it's almost like these lines are getting wider because there's just like a river, right? If there's more water coming, there's more energy, it needs to widen out, and that makes it so that it needs to adjust. It feels like it's sort of like a building up for something which will probably be seen on the world stage because there's more energy moving. So that makes it so that there will be more clearing, which is not a new thing. It's, that's been going on for a long time, but it's more so. So it's sort of like it's deeper what's coming up. It's deeper. It's been more hidden. And 24 is a year I've been receiving for several years now, that will be, it's a change in the history of the earth from 24. and it's not so long until we're in 24, so a lot of things will need to change and shift. I don't know how that will be specifically, which is both frustrating because I really want to know. My human really wants to know and want to do whatever I can to, to help that happen. At the same time, I also know that by being, by embodying, by keep clearing, by keep creating, and not sitting waiting for something is the most important thing I can do, right? So I think that energy of sitting waiting for something, whether it's someone is going to say something or someone who's going to open this door, or if there's something that just needs to be revealed, or whatever perspective we come from, that energy of sitting and waiting for something, that's not going to be comfortable moving forward, because there's so much energy moving, and whatever is holding you back will be highlighted. Wherever you have something in you, a pattern, a program that makes it more comfortable just to wait for something, is going to be less comfortable. Because I think that's one of the programs that has kept us in sort of a vacuum for a very long time. I mean, for years and years and years, and we are waking up more and more, but we're really coming into more action, more creation, and understanding more and more how much power we actually hold when we are both connected to the energy and the physical, because it's the combination which is going to change things, which is shifting things. And all of that new creation, all of that new energy is moving in through these lines of energy. So the way the energy is moving throughout the world is very different. And I'm also being shown, as I'm talking now, the mountains. So I've been shown for a long time that there's a lot of energy moving up through the mountains from the inner earth. But the way they show it to me right now is almost like it's reaching like a higher point, almost to the peak of the mountain. It's not only in the root of the mountain, if you can even call it that, but it's really coming up. And so it almost looks like this lighthouse on the top of the mountains. So it looks like it will be like sort of like a communication starting between the mountains and different parts of the world as well. So it's sort of like there will be different connection points of the energy, which will really make things start moving more rapidly as well.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I forget about, I think of the energy just coming up from the heart of Gaia. I forget about inner earth in that too. And something else that Rory said, I've linked to two of the videos of his that I've watched. One is with Pam Gregory, and the other one's the one that I mentioned first. And I think it was in the one that I posted first. He also talks about some of the lines are specifically linked to galactic systems, let's say, and that the Earth's magnetic field, I think he phrased it slightly differently, but the Earth's magnetic field has been stopping those frequencies coming in. So now that the magnetic field is coming down and it's not as strong, it allows those galactic, those cosmic frequencies that are linked to those lines to get stronger, to bring them more online as well.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Which I think also has a lot to do with the embodiment, which we started with today, because it's like we hold those galactic frequencies, so we actually anchoring it in the physical bodies. is allowing for this to really start shifting, because we are so many points around the world holding that energy, and the more we're bringing it in to the physical body, and we're not escaping from the body with all the programs and the traumas and dissociations, but we're actually coming in and we're holding more of that energy. It helps anchoring it, and it really affects the physical vessel that is the earth as well.
Yeah, we're like the lightning rods, aren't we? Like it takes a lot of the beings on earth as well to bring, the more beings there are that can bring those energies through as a vessel, as a channel, then the more energy can be brought through as a whole. So
yes, it's like a co-creation.
Yeah. So the physical stuff, I know a lot of people really went through it yesterday, and it's been continuing a lot today for people. There's been almost this, like, the energy was just so strong yesterday. It was, I was saying earlier, it's like I crossed over the Kuki line. I crossed over the line of Bati, but I was also observing Denise having crossed over that line of Bati and craziness. And it was a weird day physically, that, I cut my finger, I couldn't I couldn't lift things, I couldn't hold things properly. There was so much pain in my body as well. There was, and often these like bits of pain, almost like this flare of pain that then just goes. And it felt like so much purging going on, so much just being brought up to the surface so that it could be released. But the weakness was a little bit different, I think. And the tears and the rage, it was all of the above. So how was your day yesterday and today? And what do you do? And I'll say what I did after you share what you normally do in those situations.
Yeah, yesterday was quite a good day. I did feel towards or throughout the evening that it, like, there was something shifting. It felt more heavy, like a bit of pressure in the head, and just I think it's important not to, because that's another thing we very easily do, is that we get distracted by any story about what we're experiencing in the body, whether it's an emotion or a symptom or whatever, and we go fully into the story and we don't really do anything with it, or it's just like something covering something deeper going on. And I think for me it's been something happening throughout the night, because when I woke up today, I had slept well, felt well, and while I was just sipping my morning coffee, suddenly my tears started streaming, and I had no idea why. I didn't really feel like there wasn't anything going on in my life in that sense that made it happen, but I just felt this movement of energy in my body, like there's something releasing, there's something purging. So what I then do is I allow it, and I try not to get caught up in any story. That's really important, because it's so easy to start creating a story around it, and not making it sort of bigger than it is. It's just something coming up in this moment. It might be gone in 2 minutes, or it might be gone in 5 hours, or in 2 days, who knows. But just allow it and see if there's something in it, like what's underneath that emotion. Is there something coming up that's directing me somewhere, or is telling me that something is not resonating anymore? Is it something that needs to, which I feel more and more, there's so much changing and shifting, and it's almost like I have these days where I'm or moments even when I feel like I'm in a parallel reality, fully in my body and grounded. So it's not like I'm out somewhere, but it's just like I'm just watching things around that are of a lower frequency, happening. And I don't feel, it's almost like just watching a cartoon or something. It's really strange. And so I feel it's like just, you have those experiences, and then there's something of a lower frequency in the body that needs to come out, to be released, because that's not the baseline in the body anymore. And whether that is something personal, whether it's something collective, it's very easy to want, because I really want to understand and figure out everything. And that's a trap as well, because just going around analyzing things is not allowing for those new neural pathways in the brain to be created. So those stories are only based on something we experienced in the past, which is also really important to remember. So it's, being in the nature really helps. I've been sitting on the grass for a long time today, breathing and just really being in the body, like not distracting. Having a conversation with someone who can maybe help guide. I had a conversation with my partner today who then was able to sort of ask those questions to get to what is actually moving in the body, to gain more clarity and to not get caught up in sort of the whirlwind that is happening. Yeah, and drinking water, important.
Yeah, beautiful. And yeah, I totally on the same page really with what you're saying there. And maybe just to bring in the word resistance as well, and just to be aware that we might be in resistance to it, and to use our breath to breathe through any resistance that there might be. And I'm a big fan of the old feet stomping, like walking up to the summer house, like stomping my feet as hard as I can all the way up. That just works wonders. And dancing and singing as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, what turned it in the end was just putting some music on as I was cooking dinner, and just really dancing and singing and letting whatever voice. It was really interesting, actually, the voices that were coming through as I was singing that don't normally come through when I was singing, and not to care what you sound like, but just to let through whatever wants to come through. And even not having music on, but just doing it to see what tones want to come through. And they might be very deep, guttural tones, or they may be very, high-pitched tones, or they may be just really almost distorted sounds that want to come through. That can be such a good way of releasing, to just make some weird sounds that just shift a lot of stuff on their way out. And yeah, breath work, and as you say, drinking lots of water. And the trees really,
those are the best.
Yeah, support us so much in that. And when I finally put a plaster on my finger and my finger went, I realized the link between my finger and me. And I was like, that's what my body wants. It wants to have not a plaster so much, but some padding between me and the rawness of it, almost. Almost as if we want to just blanket ourselves or duvet ourselves. And sometimes that is exactly what we're doing, is exactly the right thing to do, to go undercover in the duvet, or but it feels, what made me think of that was the trees. It feels like you're blanketed when you're with the trees. It feels like my arms might be around the tree, but it really feels like the tree's arms around me.
That's the most amazing feeling, when you're hugging a tree and you're just really grounded through the feet, and you're just really opening the heart, and then you feel the embrace from the tree. That's one of the most amazing feelings.
Yeah. So the changes in our bodies, what's been going on for you this year? This year seems like no other in terms of the changes in the body. What are you noticing? And
it feels like almost like there's cycles of like you're opening a bit more, and then there's, you know, things coming up and you're clearing, and then there's another opening, and it's been like that for some years, but it feels like now those cycles are so much shorter, like it happens quicker. So it feels to me like there's much more embodiment. And now I've been very sensitive my whole life, since I was a child, and, you know, seeing way more than I wanted to see from I was a child. But now it feels like I'm becoming more open than I ever have been, and it's in a much more physical way than it has been. Now, it has been very physical for me always, like the way I get things is very physical. The way I've been seeing things has been physical. But still, it's almost like the body's becoming, I had this, for example, during this weekend, was in a very good state, doing some channeling, being out in nature, with my partner, and we're just like in this sort of cocoon type of energy. It felt like very open, and it felt like the whole body started being almost transparent. Like I could feel, like I could really feel my physical body. I was fully grounded into the body, yet the body feels more transparent. It feels less dense. It's almost like I can feel, and this has been going on for maybe a month and a half. I can almost feel like my calves breathing. I can just focus on my calves and I can feel them breathing. It's a very new sensation. And it's almost like I can focus wherever I want on my body. And it's so open. Sometimes it feels really raw. It's like it's too sensitive for this world, which is not a new feeling for me, but you know, you get to a point where you know how to deal with it and how to live with it. And then it's, you know, you have those moments where it just feels like I'm too raw. Like I need to be more in nature. I need to be in a different environment. I need to adjust with this, but there's no sense of being a victim to it, like I have been before at all. It's just like, it feels like this, the body is developing the way it's supposed to. It feels natural, it feels organic. But then there's also these moments where it feels like I can be wherever I want to in this state, because I feel like I'm in a parallel world to whatever is going on around me. It feels like I'm not, it's not like a protection or I'm covered or anything. It's just like I'm in a parallel frequency. So it won't touch me, whatever is going on around. So it's like moving between those two. But the experience of being in a more transparent body is very new to me.
Interesting. And I think to add to that, it feels like all the senses are more online and there's less differentiation between the senses, like the clairaudience, the clairvoyance. It's like it's kind of all one now, really. And almost like you were saying, you're breathing through your calves, almost like you can hear with your eyes or you can hear with your neck. And I've had this sensation for a while, almost of like gills here coming online, you know, like they call frill neck lizards with the things here that they sense through. It feels like more sensory organs are coming online. And health stuff as well. It feels like our bodies are becoming healthier, and stuff that we've been working with for a while seems to be having shifts. too. What else was I going to say? Forgotten.
I think there's like another thing that was is shown to me today, which is sort of like a collective theme at the moment, is the programs of suffering. So anywhere, because those are things also really connected to health specifically, as well as any type of forward movement in our lives, where we are, have belief systems or anything that are connected to that program of suffering. Like, it's hard to be a human. I have to work hard to be able to make it. I have to, everything is like we're a bit of a victim to it, or we have to suffer, or I have to overextend myself in order to be able to receive something, or, all those beliefs and those programs. Because we really need to weed those out, because anything in that energy is not clear. Yeah.
And what you were saying before about almost being in your own bubble, I think there's more evidence of, if there's a denser frequency around us, of it lifting up in the presence of a different energy. That seems more like that's going on more as well. Now, you mentioned your partner there. How did you meet?
Tell us, Denise. Oh, you're a matchmaker, aren't you? Oh, that was after the show we did in the end of December. So we actually used to work in the same place like 10, 11 years ago, but we have not been in contact at all. But we were friends on Facebook, but it was never like, his stuff didn't come up on my Facebook and the other way around. And then for some reason, and he's not very often on Facebook, but he went on New Year's Eve during the day or in the morning, and he saw that show popping up. And I was not, I had not come out of my spiritual closet at the time, so he didn't know anything about the things I'm doing now, and the channeling and everything. And he watched it and he sent me a message, and he was like, "Are you doing this stuff? Like, are people in Norway doing this stuff?" And he invited me for New Year's Eve because he was having some friends over for a fire ceremony in the garden. I did not show up that day, but we met a few weeks later, and yeah, that's how we met, through your show.
I love that story. It was almost like, well, if I don't do any more shows, it will have like served its purpose just doing that.
Yeah, it was great. Absolutely, it's a funny story. Absolutely. Very grateful. I am. And it's also because it, for me, when I first started my YouTube channel, and when I first started coming out with how I am and what I'm seeing and what I'm doing, I was so afraid of it, what everybody would think, how they would perceive me and all of that. So that was like a big journey for me to go through all of that. And one of the things they told me in channelings was that through doing it, there would be people coming into my life that were supposed to be in my life. And I had to, my voice had to come out, and I needed to do things on video. And, it's like you hear these kind of things and you are like, yeah, but whatever, But it really has happened, Yes.
And how has being in a relationship changed things for you in terms of your growth, would you say?
It's been speeding up massively. Absolutely. Absolutely. in many ways, through conversations, through energetic experiences, through just that energy that we hold together. Just being in that space together, it really shifts and changes things. And it's the most amazing thing to have such a mirror, and it can also be very challenging to have such a mirror, because even though we're very different in many ways, there's so many common themes, and there can be something coming up for him and we're sitting with it and we're moving through it, and I can think like, oh, finally one thing that isn't my thing, or that I haven't, I can just hold space and it can be there. And then the next morning I'm waking up all in tears and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And then we start digging into it a bit, and he's like, well, it's actually the exact same energy that we worked on him with yesterday. And it so it makes it so that it comes up in me as well, and we clear it. And yeah, so it really moves quickly in that sense.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I think, let me tune in to see if there's anything. I think what it's most focused on now, on the messages coming in, are the decisions that we need to make. Really getting clear on, if we're holding ourselves back in any way, what is it that makes you hold yourself back? What are those fears? So because when we have the awareness of it, we can actually move through it and beyond it, because we're holding more of that energy that we came here with, that we came here to hold, that we came here to create with. We are not only here to, experience the human life with everything that it holds. We're also to create something new. That can be anything, but really daring to get in contact and come into that creative center, getting in touch with what we really want to, and starting to take those action steps, without it being in that program of I have to, it's a pressure, or because those are the old programs we're not bringing with us. But any clearing for that alignment, I think, is really important now. And connecting to our joy, because it's so easy to get really serious about everything all the time, and we're going to clear this, and we're going to fix this, and we're going to all the things that we so easily can get really, really serious about. But being in the joy, being connected with what we want to create, is really important. And not only like 2 hours a week, but really every day, be in that, because that's the energy we create from as well.
Beautiful.
I think there's so many people out there that are sitting with ideas, or just this spark of something, or wanting to connect with someone to do something, or this idea of something that might grow out, just grow into a new system of sorts, whether it's education. There's so many young people that really needs to be seen, that are sensitive beyond anything of our generations have experienced, that are to come in with a lot of the new things. So really, a lot of people, I think, have so many ways they can support them that also will be positive for ourselves. It's like that co-creation. or whether it is, just taking action on whatever is that spark, whatever is inside, because it's so easy to think that, oh, but they might do it, or this person might do it, but who am I to? That thought we need to clear out now and just start being and doing.
Beautiful. And your YouTube is Heart of Light. And how do people, if anybody wants a session or anything, how do people get hold of you for that? What's the best way?
They can either contact me through the email, which is, I think, both on my YouTube and my Facebook, Heart of Light. You can also send me a message on my private Facebook. And the email is contact.kristin with K and V in the end @gmail.com.
Beautiful. And if I just want to share that something that I'm putting on a couple of times a month, because this being more in the body is just so key for me at the moment. So I've been putting on a couple of times a month a process with sound and light language where we really connect to our bodies, and together we're working on ourselves individually, but being in that collective field makes a big difference to it. So if that appeals to you, message me as well, either on here or my email, which will be in the, if this is on YouTube, that will be in the description. And I think we might put something on at some point, a collaboration of some sort. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It's been amazing to have you here again. It's always a pleasure. And thank you also to everybody that's been with us, either live or on the replay. Thank you all for your energy. It's lovely to feel you all with us. And I will be back with Alessandra Giglioli in an hour here, and we're going to be talking about Galactic Medusa, who she's been connecting with, and what's going on in her world of late as well. So, and it's funny that you were both on the show together and you're both here on separate shows, but on the same day today, on this strong energy day of the 22. So
definitely. Thank you for holding such a warm space always.
Oh, thank you.
Really enjoy being here with you.
I love it when you're here. All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you soon. Let me just get back to Zoom so I can stop the live. Blah, blah, blah.